Ministers say they're getting tough on Britain's sick note culture with a new test to decide whether claimants are entitled to incapacity benefit. The Treasury spends about £12.5 billion a year on the payments, and figures released today reveal where some of that money goes. By far the biggest group of claimants have mental health problems, just over 1 million people. They receive a total of about £2 billion a year. Meanwhile, 50,000 people are classified as alcoholics, claiming £85 million between them. And nearly 2,000 people are on benefits because they're obese, at a cost of £4.4 million a year. Well, one part of the country with a high number of claimants is Merthyr Tydfil. Wyre Davies has been there.
Mark Cunningham owns a small garage, he employs 5 people and his order book is full. But less than a year ago he was on the sick, legitimately claiming incapacity benefits after an injury kept him out of work for more than 2 decades.
Well, I had an accident. I fell through a window in my hand, and I went on sick ever since, so it was like 20 years, on sick. I'm my own boss now, Can go and do as what I please now. The boys will do what I can't do, and I will do what I can do,
Having found a job, thanks to a scheme in Wales called Want to Work, Mark is very much an exception in a town where it's almost the norm to be off work on benefits. Here it's not uncommon to find several generations of the same family in the same predicament. Here in Merthyr Tydfil, it's thought that as many as 1 in 5 people of working age is on incapacity benefits. They don't appear on official unemployment figures, but they do cost the country billions. And it's some of these people the government is determined to get back into work. But that will be easier said than done.
There isn't a great deal of work in Merthyr. There used to be years ago. It used to be a very valuable place, but not now.
They did try, yes, but they couldn't find no work in here, I'm afraid.
But in places like Merthyr, the government wants to tighten eligibility tests, encouraging people off benefits, placing greater emphasis on what they can rather than can't do.
We're very disappointed that the government continues to castigate people that are on benefits that they're entitled to. The new test which they're proposing is much more difficult for people to get through.
Mark Cunningham is a success story, but the government wants to reduce annual claimants by 20,000. Wyre Davies, BBC News, Merthyr Tydfil.
And let's get more on this from our political correspondent, Reeta Chakrabarti. Reeta, what's the thinking behind this on the government's part, do you feel?
I think you heard it partly there. The government feels that the new test will concentrate on people's abilities rather than on what's actually stopping them from working. And they say that this will have 2 main outcomes. It will actually reduce the number of people claiming benefits, as well as allowing those people who want to work. Incapacity benefit is actually being scrapped next year and will be replaced with a new allowance, and this test will be part of that. And ministers think that it will mean about 20,000 people are taken off benefits. Now, the Work and Pensions Secretary, Peter Hain, says that this isn't actually an attack on the work shy, although he does acknowledge that there are people who abuse the system.
There are lots of people on incapacity benefit who really should not have gone onto it. But this is not about punishment, this is about an opportunity. There are 660,000 job vacancies in Britain today. The jobs are there. They didn't used to be in the 80s and 90s. They are there now. We want to work with people to get them off the benefit total into those jobs so that they can their lives can be transformed and their health to improve as well.
So Peter Hain there, would it be fair to say that the government's really determined to push this through, Reeta?
The government is determined, but it is a difficult problem and a huge one. There are 2.6 million people claiming incapacity benefit at the moment, and the government has a target of reducing that number by 1 million over the next 10 years. There are some who say they should take much more radical action and allow local offices to try and weed out the work shy, but charities and mental health groups are very worried about pressure on people who are really ill.
All right, Reeta, thanks.